Hey, we're here at this year's rattlesnake training in Big Bear, California, getting ready for a fun weekend. Hey everybody, it's Craig from VCA Lakeside Animal Hospital and the PawdLife.com, and well, as you can see, spring is finally sprung here in Southern California, and while that means a lot more hiking, biking, and trail running, it also means the beginning of snake season. So we're going to spend this weekend training more than 150 dogs how to avoid snakes by detecting their smell, recognizing their sound and their sight, and we thought you might like to come along and take a look, so stick with us and we'll show you how we get it done. Very excited. Okay. So here at VCA, we like to make sure we understand how all these dogs are feeling during training. So we make sure that all of our assistants for the day get to feel the same feeling that the dogs feel throughout the day. So Chris has control of the controller, the shocker, and Julie is holding the electrical stim collar in her hand. And so Chris, when you're ready, so we really try to get into the spirit of things so we know exactly what these dogs are experiencing throughout the training. So each dog will be presented with a snake and an opportunity to sniff it and have a learning lesson. Thanks, guys. All right, welcome back everybody. Again, I'm Craig from the Pawd Life, and today I'm joined by Mr. Craig Lassen from VCA Lakeside Animal Hospital. How you doing today, Craig? Hey, yeah, Craig, no problem. We're glad to do it, and we're happy to be here. There's a lot of snakes here on the mountain and in Southern California in general, so we saw an opportunity that we thought was important for us to bring to our clients, to give them the chance to train their dogs to understand what a rattlesnake is and how to avoid them, really. So that's the core of the program. Well, I thought maybe you could start us off by telling us a little bit about why we do this training and what goes on to make it happen. Yeah, so what we're trying to do here is we want to take the natural curiosity that a dog has for a snake. I mean, let's face it, they're like a live chew toy. They wiggle, they make a buzzy noise, and so if you're a dog, you want to go over and put your nose on it and see what it is. So we want to take that natural curiosity, and through the process of the training event, what we're hoping is that these dogs will develop more of a respect and, quite honestly, a little bit more of a fear of rattlesnakes, so that when they do encounter them in the wild, they will make a different choice than to go over and try to learn more about the snake. So there are three main factors that we deploy when we're using this kind of a training. So one is obviously the sight. Snakes move in a particular way, they have a particular appearance, and so we want dogs to kind of keen in on that type of appearance. But two, we also want them to recognize the sound. Rattlesnakes obviously have a unique sound, and so when they hear that buzzing, we want them to also start to recall this training. But probably most importantly, we are working on them identifying the scent of a snake. Live rattlesnakes have a very specific scent that dogs can detect, and so we spend a lot of time in this training getting them into the scent cone so that they are downwind, and we work these dogs up through the scent cone until they make a recognition of that snake. And then once they do that, we deliver a correction for them at the moment that they make that acknowledgement. So it's not just that they're in the area of a snake. We are waiting and looking at specific cues from these dogs and their behavior so that we know that they have taken either the sight, the sound, or the smell, or all three. And when they're connecting those and they're making a visual contact and recognition and acknowledgement of that snake, then we deliver the correction. We'll do that each time that they express any curiosity for the snake. As far as the course setup goes, we will deploy 4 different stations typically. 3 of them will have live snakes on them. They're all muzzled with a protective hood, so they can't come in contact with the dogs, and we don't want the dogs to come in contact with the snakes either. And so then 2 of those stations, the snakes are rattling. The 3rd station, the rattles have been taped so that they're not only realizing that snakes that rattle are dangerous, we want them to also understand that snakes don't always rattle in nature. And finally, we use a bag of skins, freshly shed snake skins, and that simulates for us kind of the snake that's under a rock or in a bush where they can't see the snake and they might not be hearing it, but some interesting smell is emanating from that structure, be it a rock or a plant, and they go stick their nose in there. Most of the dog bites, if you talk to your veterinarian, are in the face area, and so that's normally what's happening as they get down in there close to see what's going on. So by exposing them to those 4 stations and really working on the scent cone, we feel like we can make a good, strong connection for these dogs that they should not be involved in these snakes. Yeah, that sounds great. I think the only thing that I have some apprehension about is probably the use of a shock collar on my dog. So maybe you could tell us a little bit more about how that part works. Sure, that's a common question, and I guess I would just really tell you that our goal is not to shock dogs. They're referred to as shock collars. We call them electrical stimulation collars, and we're just trying to recreate the sensation of a bite. But yeah, it's uncomfortable, and some dogs can have a pretty dramatic vocal response and jump around, and other dogs are quite stoic. It really depends on the dog, and so we use adjustable setting collars on all these dogs, and we find that setting that allows them to feel a sensation that's not comfortable, but we don't want to shock dogs into squirrel brain. We need them learning, we need them understanding, and if you are too assertive with a dog in this situation, and this is the negative side that comes with improper use of electrical collars anyways, is you can shut a dog down, and so that's not our goal. We really are never trying to achieve that whatsoever. So everything's adjustable, it's case by case, and in the morning before we start any of these classes, all the staff that are involved all participate by feeling and adjusting the Stim collars on themselves so that they can understand what these dogs go through and can talk to owners from a more educated point of view. And we're always willing to give you a try if that's something you'd like. The other thing I can tell you about the use of Stim collars is this. This is my dog over here, Timber. I love this dog. I've worked in veterinary medicine for 30 years. I'm an animal advocate. Like, I wouldn't support any program that was hurting or injuring my dog. Was he uncomfortable? Yeah, he's been through the program 5 times. We've encountered snakes numerous times out on trail with the lifestyle that we live, and he's making good choices. And I would rather him have a few moments of discomfort as he's making this connection or unwiring that curiosity than to risk him being bitten by a snake. I mean, we have green Mojaves, which carry a neurotoxin. We have Southern Pacifics, which more and more seem to be expressing a hybrid scenario of both neuro and hemotoxins. And any way you shake it down, a snake bite's bad news. Not to mention financially, it's $1,800 a walk through the door, and usually multiple days of hospitalization. And so, would I like to be able to have a positive reinforcement training scenario? Sure. Is that effective? Yeah. Is it efficient? Not at all. You have to be able to find a trainer who can do that with live snakes in a multiple exposure scenario. It takes more time, which therefore means it's going to be more costly for everybody involved. And if you have access to that, and if you're aware of someone who offers that, let us know, because I would deploy that person and I would make that person available to my people so they can have the choice. But as it stands today, I'm not really aware of anybody offering that. So if you're out there and you want to tap into a gigantic market, give me a call. I'll help you put it together. But I don't have the ability to offer that, and I can tell you that after doing this for 10 years and thousands of dogs, the overwhelming remark that I get from owners on course, both before and after the program, is great. This is great. That's great. Do this and do that. I like all of that. I don't want my dog to get bit, and they're happy with the program. Otherwise, I don't think it would be as successful as it has been. And we wouldn't see the repeat business of people coming back year after year to do reinforcement training and participate in the program. So I know it causes some discomfort for people, and that's fine, and we can all make our choices in life. And for those people who are interested in the program, we'll continue to offer it. And we think that what we're doing is humane, and we do it in a safe way, and we're careful. I mean, it's managed by a veterinary hospital and run by people who have nothing but love and care for their pets and their friends. And so, yeah, we support it. Okay, and when we arrive for a class, what should we expect? Sure. Yeah. So when you show up the day of, the first thing you're going to do is check in with our staff. They're going to get you all signed in, and then our collaring team are going to remove all of your collars. We don't use your leashes or any shock collars if you have your own. We put all of our own gear on so we know its reliability and we don't have any surprises in that regard. And then you'll meet with the trainer on the course, and your dog will be taken through the course. And do I walk my dog at this? No, you don't do any of the walking yourself. Owners can often send information via the leash down to the dog, and so we don't want the dog out there taking cues from the owner in any way, or sensing an owner's confidence or sensing an owner's fear. We just want these dogs out there in a neutral environment, and our professional trainers are able to deliver that to those dogs. And so we do all that ourselves for you, and you will observe from an observation area with one of the trainers who will be helping you understand what you're seeing on the course and what kind of dog psychology is going on, what kind of things we're seeing in their behavior that lead us to believe they are or they are not making any choices or positive choices. I see. How about rattlesnake injections or vaccines? Are those something that you support? Yeah, rattlesnake vaccines do make a lot of sense. I worked in emergency practice for many years on the Central Coast, and we saw hundreds of dogs a season come in for snakebite, and we were able to see just anecdotally that those dogs that had received the rattlesnake injection took less anti-venom for treatment, had shorter hospital duration. And so if you can spend less of the owner's money and get that patient out of the hospital in a safe manner quicker, then yeah, it's effective. And so from that perspective alone, yeah, we do support it and we do believe in it. And despite all this, I suppose, dogs still are going to be bit by snakes. And what should we expect if one of our dogs does encounter a snake and is bitten? Yeah, no matter how many times you train a dog for snake aversion, there's still going to be that time where they're stomping through the brush or upwind and they just step right on them. Somebody's going to get bit, and so in that unfortunate circumstance, then you're going to head to your veterinarian as soon as possible. We don't tourniquet, don't slice the leg open and try and draw out the venom with any of these tools or your mouth. You're just going to end up getting venom on your face and in yourself, and you're going to be you're going to suffer the ill effects of that as well. So just calmly get your dog to the emergency hospital, give them a call and alert them that you're coming. We are very fortunate here in Big Bear to work with a company, MG Biologics, and their Rattler antivenin. Fantastic. This antivenin is a game changer in the world of treatment of dogs for snakebite. It works to protect and reverse the effects of both the hemotoxin and the neurotoxin. That's new for us, and so we can give one solid dose to any size dog, from a horse to a chihuahua, and feel confident that it's going to do the job for those guys. Again, whether it's a neurotoxin, which affects the central nervous system, or a hemotoxin, which tends to do more kind of tissue damage. Either way you do it, it's a painful and uncomfortable scenario, so there's going to be pain management that's being given. There may or may not be antibiotics if we have some destruction of the tissue and associated infections with that, but really it's anti-inflammatories, pain management, and antivenin, IV fluids, and we just monitor to make sure that the swelling doesn't get out of control. When animals are bitten in the face, and if they have a lot of skin that can stretch and that swelling can kind of swell without creating a lot of uncomfortable skin pressure, sometimes that's a better scenario. When you're bitten around the eyes and around the throat, that's a very nervous time. When you're bitten on a forelimb and there's not a lot of stretchy skin there, and not a lot of tissue to absorb any of the swelling that's going on, those can be much more challenging and potentially more painful as well. So any way you do it, getting to the veterinarian as quick as possible, the time between bite and when we start delivering treatment significantly improves the outcome for the patient. And so and we don't need to know anymore, because we're using that Rattler antivenin, and we don't need to identify the type of snake, because it's not going to change the type of antivenin that we give, and then we just treat symptomatically. So, and if it's happened to you, best of luck. It's uncomfortable, but it can have a very positive outcome. Just get a hold of your veterinarian and make choices quickly. Don't wait on these things overnight. Well, that's it, everybody. We hope you had fun, and we hope you learned a little bit more about rattlesnake avoidance training, how it's done and why it's done. And we hold these classes every June in the first week or two. So if you're interested in making an appointment, you can reach out to us at this email address. If you have any feedback about the show or any questions or comments, you can reach me directly at this email address. And as always, if you like this video, we've got lots more over at thepawdlife.com. Please like and subscribe to the channel and let us know you support us, and we'll keep trying to put content out there for you to help keep that human-animal bond thriving for as long as possible. Take care, everybody. We'll see you out there soon. Bye.